What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Man, there's some things that went down this week in the NBA. Shoot, let's just jump right in and talk about it. You know how we do.
If this world were mine.
So, this past week in the NBA, man, that's a lot, man. Real quick. I mean, shoot, let's start with Joel Embiid. Dropped his, 71? Joel Embiid, and that was against Victor Wembanyama. That was that was against the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, man. That was definitely sending a message to the young fella. Let him know what he's gonna have to deal with, what he's gonna have to work towards. A good message too. I like that. I like that because we've seen some really good things from Victor Wembanyama, especially with him and Chet Holmgren. I think that's going to be a really good rivalry over the years. I think that's going to have some legendary moments between those two. As far as Joel Embiid, he's got a ways to go. He's got a ways to go before he can go back at and match Joel Embiid. He had some good moments. Victor has some good moments now. It's not like he just got out there, Victor has some good moments. But Joel, 18 rebounds, 71, whatever. That's definitely sending a good message. And speaking of Chet and Victor, they had another one of their duels. Like I said, those duels are going to go down in history, I think, because Chet's not going to take it lightly. Chet's not the type of player that's not going to respond when he feels like he's been outplayed or when other people might feel like he's been outplayed. Victor Wembanyama is going to be a really good superstar. And the reason I say that is because he actually understands the moment. Now, not that other great players don't. Some great players are just all about basketball and playing the game of basketball and winning. They're not really trying to. That's what made Michael Jordan so amazing, is because not only was he all about winning at the game of basketball, no matter the cost, he also understood, the moment. He understood that it's basketball on the stage and he's going to put on a show. Matter of fact, Michael Jordan felt like it was his obligation to put on a show each and every night. Now, a lot of players don't go to that extent, but those that do, that's really good. But Victor Wembanyama is the type, he understands the moment. And then hopefully he'll get to that level, to where he's going to bring it like that every game, night in and night out. We'll see if he can remain healthy and do those things. But I think Chet has that type of dog in him to where he'll respond that way. Chet's all about basketball. He's not really all about the glitz and the glamour, but he's a dog. He's going to respond. So that's why I said we should have some really good battles. And again, he's all about winning the game. He might feel like he doesn't need to respond too much because they won the game. We'll see how those things play out for those two down the line. And then after that, you had Karl Anthony Towns, I think. Now, Joel Embiid, that credit's validated. You know what I'm saying? Stamped, approval. Karl Anthony Towns, his 62, I think he had. I don't think it was validated. You know what I'm saying? Coach Finch didn't like it too much. He said he was out there stat padding. He was out there hunting for baskets. He wasn't out there trying to win the game, trying to make the right play. That's kind of what you hear me say, when I do the Trailblazer games and Anthony be out there shot hunting. It's the same thing. You got to make a right play for your teams, make good play for your teammates. Those shots will come more times than not. But good basketball is about making the right play. Good winning basketball is about making the right play. And as we saw, they ended up losing that game to the Hornets. That was a questionable foul. Matter of fact, it was a foul. Let's not even act like that was a foul. These were... And then that was a foul. But Karl Anthony Towns, I'm sure there was plenty more plays that could have been influenced the right way, encouraged the right way from him, making the right play for his teammates. That would have done a lot to change the outcome of that game. Then you got Terry Rozier finally getting freed out of Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? I was beginning to wonder when they were ever going to let Terry Rozier go, and just let him go somewhere else and play for a competitive team, come off that bench. I don't know if the Hornets have already released Kyle Lowry or if they're going to. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to see how that works out. And then, of course, you had Adrian Griffin. We talked about him getting fired from the Milwaukee Bucks. Doc Rivers taking over. And then, of course, you still, the referees are still a story in the NBA. And their emotional empowerment, just calling texts, deciding the outcomes of games with bad calls and calls being rescinded and teams protesting calls that are being made and all those types of things. There's a lot of that going on in the NBA right now. And it's all due to the bad refereeing. And it's one thing to miss calls. Okay, we got instant replay, thank goodness. But it's another thing to compound it with emotional enablements and emotional empowerments to call technicals for any reason. Imagine if NFL referees threw unsportsmanlike conduct flags the way NBA referees call technicals because their feelings were hurt. Imagine if NFL referees threw the flag because their feelings got hurt. But the NBA referees is a whole nother thing, man. They out here emotional and it's just weird. And Adam Silver has empowered and enabled them to be that way. I hope he corrects that. You know, the players need some correcting too, but that doesn't leave an excuse for the referees to be as terrible as they are. And then finally, you know, real quick, Luka. Luka is a problem. I mean, we already know that. You know, we already know Luka's a problem. Luka just dropped 73, and it was a nice 73, a clean 73, an efficient 73. You know what I'm saying? Like, that entree has some good trimmings on it. That entree came with some sides. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. I mean, Luka is a King Kaiju type of monster. I mean, the Hawks didn't send 2 until he had 60 anyway. They didn't start trapping him, jumping him, doubling him until he already had 60. He dropped 40 in the first half, didn't see 8 double team. I mean, you just can't do that. Regardless. Yeah, I know, you know, Luka's that good and he's going to adjust to whatever you do. Yeah. But you just have to take your chances with the percentages of other players having good games around him. And hopefully your team is just better than whatever they can do in support of Luka because you need to trap him. Now, obviously, where you trap him and how you trap him is very important. We have to be in communication, though, on the defensive end. You got to be in communication because you have to have the right guy rotating over to protect against that cut. You know, instead, if they want to sit and wait at the 3-point line for that pass, cool. But if they dive down, you got to make sure you have somebody there ready and waiting and willing to defend that. So we'll see what teams do next to try to slow Luka down. I expect Luka to drop his jersey number. Even though I hear a lot of people trying to label Luka as a stat hunter, hunting for triple doubles and all those things, but Luka's still making good plays out there on the court. Matter of fact, Luka feels like you have a better chance of making a shot off of his passes than you do off of your own moves and getting good, clean looks. Luka feels like, look, let me give you the ball, and I guarantee you'll have a higher percentage of making them shots. And he might be right. He might be right because it's about rhythm, location, you know, understanding where your teammates like the ball and things like that. And even when he be throwing those no-look passes, he does it in a way where his teammates can still catch the ball in rhythm. They don't have to break rhythm to catch those passes, you know, as we see from a lot of people who are considered to be great passers. You know, the receiver of the pass has to break rhythm and catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Man, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Will Luka drop 81? Will he hit that Mamba? You know what I'm saying? I think he will, and I think he'll go above that. So we'll see. So I'll check you guys next week, next Friday or Saturday, for another episode of what went down this week in the NBA. So I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right.
If this world were mine,